have survived a near-death experience often speak of a moment of clarity, but some even go further, swearing that a sort of supreme being helped them through the trauma, a guardian angel, if you will. These testimonials serve as the premise for a new book. John Geiger is the author of The Third Man Factor, The Secret to Survival in Extreme Environments. He joins us this morning. I pronounced your name right, did I?
Yes, you did.
Okay, good.
Like Geiger.
But it's... This is extraordinary, and the examples that you give are amazing. We were just talking off camera. I mean, you know, it's almost like this is almost where the idea of a guardian angel came from, I guess.
It depends on what your perspective is, whether you're a spiritual religious person or not. But if you are a religious person, I think this book is proof of the existence of guardian angels. And if you're not, this book is evidence that guardian angels are actually part of our neurological makeup, that we all have the capacity to evoke companion when we're in really desperate struggles.
What do people feel? What do they see or feel or hear?
Well, they don't usually see anything. What they do is they feel the presence of a companion, a friend, a guide, a helper, you know, someone to assist them and really direct them out of terrible sort of life and death struggles. So the book has many examples of explorers, and I've got an astronaut, I've got aviators.
You've got 9/11 factors in here.
Yeah,
and why don't you talk, or give us some of the stories? I know there's another one about an Antarctica expedition.
Yes, that's right. I mean, Sir Ernest Shackleton's expedition, which is very famous, his ship Endurance was trapped in the ice, and he escaped with his men, and so he had this experience. He and two other men at the same time had the sense that an unseen presence had joined them on their escape from Antarctica.
I know a lot about Shackleton. I did not know that. That's incredible.
It's an amazing sort of anecdote in his book. So then you know, you start looking, and suddenly, you know, I found examples all over the place. In fact, well in excess of 100 examples of this involving really high-functioning people.
Well, the Giller winner, Vincent Lamb.
Yeah, I mean, Vincent Lamb.
Who wrote the foreword to this book.
That's right, that's right. So Vincent had it. Very different set of circumstances. He wasn't on a polar ice cap or in space, but he had it because he was under tremendous stress and in a highly monotonous situation, cramming to get into medical school. So it depends on the individual. Some people have this quite a low threshold and will experience this under lower levels of stress. For other people, you have to be you know, on Mount Everest in a life and death struggle to have the experience.
So do you think, is it because of stress and trauma, some sort of developed survival instinct that we've created, that our minds have come up with this idea of this other being, helper, whatever you call it, that can help us through this situation?
I think it is an evolutionary development.
Wow.
And I think what's interesting is that we're essentially hardwired to survive, and this is one of the survival sort of coping mechanisms that we can fall back on in times of great stress. So, you know, to know that and to understand that we all have this capability, we all have this innately, is, I think, a really powerful sort of insight into, you know, our mental state and our ability to cope with very difficult circumstances. And some of the stories in here, Ron DeFrancesco, the last man out of the South Tower of the World Trade Center, had this experience, you know, way up above the impact point in the World Trade Center. Jim Savigny, a climber, had it. He and a companion were swept down a mountain in Alberta in an avalanche, and he had this experience. He had a broken back. His friend was dead. He was effectively dead, and most people would have given up hope. But he had this intervention. He had an unseen presence arrived and gave him very specific direction on how to survive.
John, this is fantastic. The book is The Third Man Factor, The Secret to Survival in Extreme Environments. Terrific book. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much.